Hello, I hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to the Sanyaku Brothers podcast. This is episode 2, named Invading the Dohyo with the Grand Sumo Breakdown boys, Jake and Mak. That's them right there. As this is episode 2, like I was saying, we are just getting started, getting going up. This is our first guest. We are proud to have them on the podcast and greatly appreciate their time. We are got some questions, so if you guys don't know them particularly, we're going to have all the links in the description so that way you guys can follow them, support them, and watch what they do because they do amazing work over there on their side. And would you like to say anything to the chat?
No.
A man of few words. Well, hello, everybody.
No, we're happy to be here. We I'd say it's probably fair at this point that you can consider it GSB policy to say yes whenever anybody wants to talk about sumo.
Jake, don't say it like that.
Anybody off the street, whatever.
It is pretty fun. I mean, a prime example. There's a local grocery store here, and I go past the deli all the time. There is a guy that usually wears a pink hat. He's a big sumo fan, and I always just sit and talk sumo with him as he's cutting my deli meat for my sandwiches. He has no idea who I am, but I'm just like, hey, I like sumo, so let's talk about it a little bit.
So Mac is a guest on that guy's podcast.
Yes, deli meat special in the local grocer.
No, I'm not saying that. I have not watched your first episode, but I did see that it was out. I'm excited to check you guys out here, and yeah, we're happy to be here. Happy to get more voices in the mix here in our little sumo community.
Indeed, and obviously we appreciate y'all's time. And if you don't mind, we're going to go, I guess, right on into it just to start it up. First of all, I'm going to get this out of the way. How could you guys bring up the Kisano Sato injury for Ono Sato? Y'all are bringing it into the universe, man. And Ryan, I saw his face and everything. He wanted to say more negative stuff, and I was like, no, dude, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how superstitious you are, but that one was not a good one for us to bring up. No, on GSB, we do a preview episode roughly a week ahead of time before the Basho starts. And yeah, we were talking about, Ono Sato being a new Yokozuna, he's really going to barrel in there, but hey, that's what we said about Kisano Sato, and he got injured right away. And then, as soon as it was spoken into the universe, we're like, oops.
What have we done?
No. Now it's on us.
Salt starts flying everywhere. People are stomping all over their rooms. Yeah.
Well, bad juju aside, though, yes, we are. If you listen to that episode, one thing I can say for certain is that we are very enthusiastic about this era of sumo we're coming into.
Just stay healthy, please. Please stay healthy.
Oh,
Yep.
Yes, for sure. And speaking
the
of
sumo gods,
indeed, throw extra salt if you need to. We got let's see here. Necessarily, like, there's one thing that it involves Mac, because you kind of got like not necessarily teamed up on, but it's funny to see them pick at you about this, is the fact that for people that don't know you guys necessarily, who do you actually dislike? Because you had a whole tournament of that. And like, I'm just curious, is it really who you picked, or is there actually someone that you dislike?
It was actually who I picked on that one. I embrace I just love the sport of sumo. I have loved it ever since Jake said, "Hey, check this out," and I'm like, "Oh, well, this is actually really fun." And if I had to pick an absolute guy that I hate, it would be no one, really. I mean, honestly, I just love the sport. I love watching it. I love the ceremony. I love everything that goes into it. And for the people that bring disrespect to it, they're the ones that I dislike the most.
Very fair.
To say I have one in particular, Ichi Yamamoto, you have my ire this year because I said I would do it.
Of course, but like, we've been joking about this since our group, the GSB guys, we got together in college when we all met at Iowa State in the early 20-teens. Oh God, no, we were gone by the time of the teens, technically, weren't we? whatever.
Well,
God,
we were still hanging out names.
We're feeling old-ish now. But regardless, we're college friends that got into sumo together. But all the way back when we were college friends, the joke was that Mac wasn't enough of a jerk to like really fit in properly at the beginning. And I think that holds. I think the rest of us are proper haters. But Mac just I don't know. I feel like he's faking it sometimes. You got to really
cross over to the dark side.
Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes you got to get a good hate on to really be passionate about sumo, but Mac makes it work by just Ted Lasso positivity somehow.
It's been working.
It has, and it's baffling.
Because I know Ryan had the more like, how would you put it? Like he was more opinionated, or used to be really opinionated about Oho, and he's kind of like, kind of went to the other side on that. But Gonoyama, I believe, still has his ire, if I remember correct.
Yes.
Like
Ryan grew up on pro wrestling, so he is the expert hater out of all of us for sure.
For sure.
So did I, but it was a pro wrestling that was probably a generation. The names I know are not names anybody in pro wrestling now would know.
I bet you are 99% right, but Ryan would be the exception. He'd be the 1%.
He has encyclopedic knowledge of so many different things, sports related especially. It is just mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Now my brother's like that. He's a bit of an anorak.
One of the things that I really like about our group that that does the GSB podcast, we're friends first, and then like I don't know, coworkers. I wouldn't even call it that. Whatever. But we were friends first, so like we get along really well there. But we all have like our own niche, and Ryan's niche is never forgetting anything that has ever happened. So it's either
and
useful.
Rules.
It's useful when you agree with Ryan, and devastating when you remember something or when you think you remember something, and then he pulls out facts or whatever to say that you're wrong.
Pesky.
And now I know that since Heather, she's actually going to watch a really cool Godzilla movie in a theater, which I'm so jealous of, that I was going to let her go ahead, and if you have any questions before I ask some more, I was going to let you go ahead and say some.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and ask some questions. So basically there are some sumo questions in here, but there are also just like some fun questions. So I'm going to start off with this.
What's the difference, Heather?
I was about to say, hey.
You know what? How about I start with the movie I'm going to see? So I'm going to be seeing Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, All Out Monster Attack.
Ooh.
So basically, and I'm adding another kaiju to this question, but which kaiju do you think would be the better Rikishi? Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, or King Ghidorah?
I think that Godzilla would not be a good pick because his tail touches the ground.
And see, I'd have to go with Ghidorah on that one, but he's got 3 heads, so I'm like,
Y'all are forgetting about Godzuki. Godzuki's built like a sumo wrestler, dude.
He's not an option, though.
That's what I'm saying. That wasn't mentioned.
True.
Like, but Rodan and Mothra are flyers. That's why I'm like, but the idea is to stay down on the ground, a battle on the ground. I'm like, that. It would have to, if not for Godzilla, I'd have to go with Ghidorah.
Yeah, I can't remember his tail situation, but Godzilla's always got those 3 points on the ground, so that probably counts as a loss. If it doesn't count as a loss, then Godzilla, because he's got those. At least the modern depiction of Godzilla, he's got those big thunder thighs, so he could probably get some good pushes.
As thoroughly surreal as this conversation is, I would like to point out, if we're looking at sumo wrestling as compared to these gentlemen we're speaking about, how in the hell does Godzilla get a grip on the Mawashi? That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point.
It's like trying to watch a T-Rex play a piano. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Takakesho made Ozeki without touching
Actually,
him.
yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. It worked for Takakesho.
I think no matter who you pick here.
Face slap.
Yes.
I love watching Takakesho face slap. I mean, that was like Hakuho. When he would like reach back to China and then hit you in the head, I'm not really sure how people kind of were standing up after that.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you pissed off Takakesho, you got 3 or 4 of them for your trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and to see him now, I don't know if he could knock a small child over if he tried. He's tiny.
Oh man,
he looks so good.
Yeah, no, I think depending on how you bend the rules regarding tails, I think Godzilla would get the good pushing. Yeah, I think Mothra, how many legs does Mothra have? That might be an obstacle for him to touch the ground too.
6? It's a moth, right?
It's a moth.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Is he an anatomically correct kaiju?
Well, and also with Mothra, don't we have to worry about their 2 little helpers or something like that? The 2 little girls that announce Mothra.
Oh yeah, the ones that do that really nice song.
Or will those count as his sujo, like his little fan club?
Good.
Man, I guess I'm learning that I don't know. I'm learning that I don't know kaiju as well as I thought.
I just thought I'd ask because it was topical, and also of course I'm going to go see the movie tonight. So, and also because of course Teruno Fuji, I believe was given the nickname Kaiju for a little bit.
Yeah, I heard that
because of how dominant he was,
and just big. He wasn't like the tallest or necessarily like the. He just had this aura of bigness about his build somehow with his mental aura as well as size.
That's what I mean. When he would go into the ring and he would just stare at you, just his, like you were saying with Jake, with his presence, like he would just look at you as he's smacking his Mawashi and you're walking there like, oh, this guy's going to hurt me.
Yeah, he doesn't he
loses. May not go well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His baby even has that same face.
Hakuho was the same way. I mean, when he got there and stared down Teruno Fuji in his last bout, I mean, yeah, that's breaking massive rules because you're not supposed to really kind of try to intimidate, but I just thought it was freaking awesome.
That's this painting right here. I don't know how well you can see it, but this was a commission I got of that match of Hakuho standing over Teruno Fuji in that final.
That victory yell at the end was just like that was a kaiju roar.
Oh man, that was Godzilla in the movie.
That was killer. The stare down. I mean, it's right now. I think as far as stare downs, it would have to be the power squint from Hoshoryu.
Yeah,
would have to be the big winner. I mean,
he's either
you can barely see his opponent, and it's just that.
That side
I put out general warnings in the chat to get the children behind the furniture and hide the elders because the power squint's coming. Be careful.
I've always thought that's 80% he's gonna try and kill you, and 20% yep, that is the right guy. Okay, I can see him.
Who am I fighting? Oh, you.
Who's that? Oh, yeah.
That blob right about there. That's the one.
Yep.
And I just remember, I wonder, when he was having kind of hard runs, I wonder how many shoes of his uncle's went through the TV set. I used to think that Uncle would have a stack of TVs in the garage, and he would be unwrapping a new one every day in some cases, because there's a shoe sticking out of the old one. And they're just piling up in the backyard.
That relationship has always confused me a little bit. I don't know how close they are or how much of it is because I think Asashoryu definitely has more of a. He makes it more public than I think I would if I was trying to help nurture a younger relative at something that I was very good at in the past. I don't know. It always weirds me out a little bit. I'll say that.
I've heard that
I'm not a fan.
Isn't too good on terms, but then I've heard that they're have made up, and it's hard to really find out the truth on that because he has said, Hoshoryu at least had said that he wanted to be his own man, his own Rikishi Sekitori, however you want to call him, really. I mean, you can't be wrong with either one. But he wanted to distance himself from his uncle. And after you saw that, then he was praising Kinbozan, which that cursed him, and Kinbozan didn't do too good. So, maybe him and Uncle aren't on the best of terms. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that seems kind of complicated, but family dynamics are complicated, and so are dynamics when it comes to sumo. I think Hoshoryu is also a little bit more, I guess, laid back than his uncle is, because before the social media ban and everything, you would see him in his Aqua's social media or his own social media, and he's just kind of like, he's laughing, he's having a good time, he likes being with people. He doesn't seem like he's kind of like detached or like that he's better than everybody else. He's just kind of like, I want to be a dude.
Yeah. Because he's still like, what, 26 or something like that? He's still
young.
like kind of a kid.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
also
a whole other that's a whole other can of worms to talk about. How like yeah, we're putting all this pressure of legacy and national pride on these people that are in a sport that they're kids. They're just kids that are living together, hanging out, causing trouble and stuff like that. And yeah, it's quite a contradiction.
The weight of a national sport.
I got flipped about the head and ears by a couple of guys in Grand Sumo because they were talking about the just performances and upcoming performances and so forth, and we started to talk about Anashiki, and I had brought up that okay, he's rocketed up to M1. I think that physically he's in the zone. I mean, he's a good, strong wrestler. He's got decent technique. He earns where he is. It wasn't given to him by any means. And they're not conflating him at all. He's a strong M1. But I was wondering, what I had mentioned was that I hope his mental state is good, that he's not taking, that the pressure doesn't get to him. And one of them in the chat decided to just kind of tear me a new one over how this whole mental thing is just BS. And it doesn't exist. That there's no confidence problems, there's no mental problems around the way they perform. And I said, well, if you look at Shodai and you look at Mitakayumi and you look at maybe a couple of others, they might have had slight injuries when they were up in the Ozeki ranks, but you could see they were having trouble holding it on. That it wasn't their performances were lagging because I think they were having imposter syndrome of some sort, or maybe a Dunning-Kruger moment in sumo, and it was affecting them. But these guys, I mean, were almost insulting as to how pat me on the head naive I was about this.
And Shodai literally even said as much, that he was having issues with confidence of like being an Ozeki and stuff, and was seeking help from like Hakuho and before he was the Oyakata and everything. So like I can see that.
Yeah, I mean that's and I still feel that way. I still feel that way about Anashiki in general because he's one of the more prevalent ones where you would watch for that. I mean, he's really gotten up to M1 in a hurry.
Yeah,
and it's not like Takeda Fuji who hit the Makuuchi and you got a record for it. I mean, 110 years and all this sort of thing, and Juryo and Makuuchi division and so forth. But I mean, look at him now. He's what, M6? And he doesn't look like he's going to be shifting upward anytime soon unless he raises his game a bit more or adds a little bit more to his toolbox. But yeah, we're kind of running away. Heather, did you have other questions?
Sorry. It's okay.
No,
I didn't know whether you were...
tangent.
Yeah, but they were all sumo tangents.
It's all sumo. That's good.
Yeah.
Red threads. I'm like that guy. I'm like from the guy in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with his little board and all those strings and everything like that.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yes, good
Charlie
Lord.
in the mail room.
I'm going to get heat for this, but I don't watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia unless I'm hanging out with my siblings. So, but the
There's
ones
like
I have
20
watched, I've
of it.
enjoyed.
It's like 20 seasons. If you haven't watched from the beginning, you can't really catch up at this point.
It's okay.
Well, and of course, like they just recently did the whole crossover thing with Abbott Elementary too. So, and I've heard that's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question about like, would they even be allowed within 30 feet of a school?
Easy answer, no.
No.
Okay, but moving on. Okay, I think earlier we were also, like, before we started recording, we were kind of talking about, like, how we got our sumo and everything. And I figured this would kind of be a good one to, like, if we have listeners that are either new to sumo or maybe even people that are just having a hard time accessing sumo. Like, what is the best way you found to keep up with sumo? Like we talked about, for some of us, we're living in places where it's not easy for us to watch the lower divisions or to like like stay up, and if we have jobs or something like that that keep us from watching something like sumo.
Yeah.
I know in my case, I like follow a lot of social media, but what do you guys find is helpful to you in keeping up with what's going on either in the upper divisions, lower divisions, or all of what's going on?
Mac, if I can start this one, I think in the, let's see, we're getting close to like 10 years or so of following sumo for the GSB crew. In that time, it has come and gone. Like dozens of channels have come and gone from YouTube. People who stream it live have come and gone, and I would say one thing not to do is to broadcast widely who is currently not being taken down by copyright stuff. I guess for me, the thing that I always try to do is just stay current enough in different Discord channels or chatting with people, to staying close personally with other sumo fans, always, not just to talk about sumo, obviously that's the most fun part, but like you got to keep those connections open, so you hear like, oh, this guy got taken off of this platform, but now there's somebody else that's doing it over here or doing something over there. There's a decent amount of stuff that you can find after the fact of people talking about sumo these days. But yeah, that all has to start with being able to watch it one way or another, and that's more a game of knowing who to ask, like where's the current hookup kind of a situation. And that's one thing that we've learned our lesson over the years of podcasting is I'm not going to tell you where I'm watching right now, because that's going to get out and maybe get that person in trouble.
Almost like you need to gatekeep just a little bit.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. Yeah.
But there are other options. So there are a couple different apps that you can download to your phones. Like there's the Grand Sumo app. We discovered that when we were over there in Nagoya.
Yes.
We found that on their one of their flyers that they had.
Yeah,
so
we were both over in Nagoya at the same time.
yes,
Yeah.
I thought we'd remember that.
Yeah.
So there's an app that you can download that'll give you all the matches for the day. If you don't mind paying a little extra, you can actually watch the individual bouts. You can see what the Kimarite was. So that helps you stay current with the same day. But then if you say you want to watch it with other people, or you work a lot, so then you want to try and catch up the following day, they have Grand Sumo highlights that usually come out on YouTube, and then you've got English commentary that comes with that. So there's Murray Johnson, there's Ross, there's
Hero.
Yep, Hero, of course. Hero. There's all kinds of great commentary that they provide for the matches, and so those are the two that I usually utilize or recommend, especially if you just want to sit back and kind of relax and just watch it. If you don't want to hunt all the different Discord chats.
I love how I didn't even like consider the route of talking about legal ways to watch sumo. Didn't even cross my mind that that's what you're asking.
I honestly thought one of y'all was going to be like, well, you can use a VPN and then just find it on the internet, but then y'all are just like, well, let's keep it on the hush, but you can if you know what I mean.
Jake is the sumo drug dealer.
I did realize it as I was saying it. I'm like kind of explaining like how to get drugs in an indirect way.
Oh no, it's like that scene out of 1942, if you kind of remember that film. Rule 1, do not download NordVPN. Rule 2, do not direct the VPN to Tokyo. Rule 3, do not bring up a browser and type in abima.this.that/sumo. Rule 4, do not put it up on Twitch.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say that while we're recording. Come on.
No. Meanwhile, here's what you can do.
Grand Sumo highlights was what I was catching at like 1:30 a.m.
Yeah,
and it was I think it was is it Hito?
He does it, and Murray does it, and Raj does it, and then there's
listening to him and him going, yeah, that guy just got smoked by this, and it's his kind of euphemisms. I found just hilarious.
I love it.
Absolutely. And Murray's sardonic, like, well, he didn't do that very well, did he?
Yeah.
Well, he's hoping to get a Katsukoshi here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, and I think Grand Sumo highlights, I think you're getting also through NHK as well. So if you're not one for YouTube, get it on NHK. You can go to the NHK website and they'll put it up too. But YouTube is also where they'll have it. So, or if you're like Tom over here, essentially, like if you are in a country where it's available, it sounds like you can at least watch it on television.
At a convenient time of day, not 3 in the morning for us.
One of the channel, I think Virgin TV over here gets NHK is one of the channels that comes with. That's how I found it. I was just sitting up late one night and it just came on, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, I'll watch this.
Rub it in. Rub it in.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But what is it? I was just thinking of something. No, but see, NHK has other programming that's interesting too. You learn lots of neat things. One of the funnier things, and I hope it's not too inappropriate, because this is like Japanese educational TV. Like it's like got like marionette puppets bringing you the broadcast of what they're showing you. And they showed like how the guy invented the sushi belt in the restaurant and why. And they had one where they were talking about the automatic cleaning toilet. The toter that you sit on and it shoots a jet where you need it. And as they were going over it, they were like, well, when we were working on the design, they needed to figure out the optimum angle for the jet so that it was working in its best way that it could.
The engineering and science.
And they're telling this story with the puppet.
No, these are the Japanese. They had volunteers in the company who were trying out different angles to find out what the best angle was in their testing facility. And they found out the optimum angle was 41 degrees. A jet shot at 41 degrees does the trick. And this is educational TV in Japan. Oh, nobody really needs to know this, but it's just a fun fact. Share that one at the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
next to trivia night.
Educational shows.
I will share it to my friends that I go to the movies with tonight. So thank you.
The optimum angle, 41 degrees.
41
I did hear.
It wasn't much the 41 degrees. It's the fact that they had volunteers. They had people who literally volunteered for the experiment to figure this out. Can you imagine the guy who went at 60 degrees? And it's like the back of his hair?
On a scale from 1 to 10. On a scale from 1 to 10.
19 degrees, and it shot out the front. I mean,
And I am wet.
You got to admit, what the hell were they doing?
Oh man, I did see Heather react when you said the sushi belt. Yes, I agree. I think that human culture should be measured in before sushi belt and after sushi belt eras. Like that's the greatest thing that.
We just got one in Kansas City. It's called Kado or something like that. I forgot the name of it, but it's really cool. However, you've got to get something quick because people are really quick to snatch things off of it.
Yeah. Believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you snooze, you lose, man. That urchin's going by. You let it go by, it's gone. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
I will say,
it can also rack up very quickly.
Oh, the bill on those, you've got to be careful. You'll hit 50 quid in dishes if you're not careful.
Oh, it's just $2 for this plate. No big deal. Then 20 plates later,
20 plates later, your stack is like, oh boy.
We actually.
Shall we clear those away for you again?
Yeah.
We did miss one source too. Is actually the for the sumo videos and keeping up with stuff is, I believe it's Sumo Kyokai on YouTube, the actual official channel. They put all well, not all, but they put the bouts you would want to see. They upload them pretty quickly after they're done, I'd like to say. It's 6 a.m. for me, when it ends. So by 7:30-ish, it's normally up.
I think, haven't they been doing one day after or something like that recently?
Oh, no, from what I've noticed, it's been pretty much just hours, it felt like. But it could be, maybe they switched because I didn't watch it last Basho that way. So, because normally, say if I missed it and, I would catch up with that. But, I don't think, I think they might have, you might be right, I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of the reasons we're always trying to keep up to date with the workarounds is because we try to, especially our halfway through the Basho episode that we always put out, we try to make it as current as possible. So we really do our best to streamline the sumo that just happened. We want to talk about it and release it while it's still the most current sumo that has happened. Just because, during the Basho, This was actually one of the first things that we changed when we started GSB. Was we were just going to do a preview and a recap for each Basho, and was it our very first time somebody was like, this was great. Do one. How often are you going to do them? Do more of these. So yeah,
literally, that's how I was like, do more of these. We're like, okay,
all right, all right.
Whatever you say, man.
But when you're trying to talk about stuff that's current, there's always a battle of trying to get stuff, trying to watch the sumo that just happened as quickly as possible, get our thoughts in order to put out a podcast as quick as possible and whatnot. Try to do that all in the same morning. But yeah, generally, if there's an easy current legal way to watch sumo, so many people would be all over it. But if you're trying to do it legally, there's all sorts of speed bumps that kind of slow you down as a Western fan. So yeah, it's a tough situation.
It would be really nice if like NHK or like one of the channels in Japan had like a subscription of some kind. Like you pay so many bucks a month or something, and you get access to even just like Juryo or like Makauchi, like, and then if they are like, oh, we want like the lower divisions as well, well then you can pay a little bit more, and then basically like you're at least paying the channel, and also maybe in a way paying the sumo association for like being able to watch sumo more widely.
Yeah, they do get a cut of the TV deals for sure. But yeah, I think the problem with at least a year or two ago, the last time we did a deeper look into it, was the legal stuff. You could like buy the full NHK channel, but it wasn't on demand. Is that right,
Right.
Mac?
Yep, that was correct. It wasn't on demand, and it was a full subscription. So you couldn't say like when or what tournament that you'd want to watch. It was just whenever it came into the cycle. So whatever was on, was on. So it didn't change any of the times that you could actually watch the tournaments. It's just, oh, well, this is being broadcast now, so here you go.
Yeah, if I had if I had the sleep schedule to watch it live, I'd be fine, because yeah, like I said, if you know where to look, you can find stuff. But watching it live, that's the problem. That's exactly. 2 to 4 in the morning for me. I can't do that.
Not anymore. We used to stay up and watch it.
when we were young and our sleep schedules were malleable, like our spines. But
and then we would all collapse in the basement.
What other questions were you thinking that you wanted to get to?
Well, I have 2 more. Now, well, technically 3 more, but like I think maybe 2 more might do. Okay. So basically, like, you said you've been doing this for about 10 years, and you've seen a lot of wrestlers come, you've seen a lot of wrestlers go, and one thing I have to ask is how has your outlook on the careers of some wrestlers changed over the time that you've been watching sumo? Like, for example, you had like hopes for a particular wrestler who was probably like someone that you were really looking forward to, and then as time went on, it's like, I'm not seeing or feeling the same way about this.
I have the perfect example for this one, and that was Mitake Yumi. So when we first started watching, we loved Mitake Yumi. We thought, this guy's going to be awesome. Like, he could be a future Ozeki. And lo and behold, he got it. He got to Ozeki, and it was just fun watching him grow and develop. And then when he finally obtained his Ozeki status, he was lackluster. It was like, wait a minute. We thought this guy was going to keep going, go to the top, keep challenging the Yokozuna. And he just never matured. Now, he did have injuries. He did have a lot of stuff going on outside of the ring. But watching him come in, seeing him in the beginning and how hungry he was, and we thought, oh, this guy's got it to go. Watch this. This guy's going to be a future Yokozuna. And then completely flame out to now where he's just now back in Makuuchi. I'm like, oh, what happened to you?
Yeah.
I don't know, Jake, you got an example too?
I was going to bring up Hokuto Fuji, who just retired. Because he's a guy that we saw. He's one of the first and most successful guys that we saw the whole story. You know, like there's guys that we came in that have now retired, that we watched grow old and fall apart and retire. And there's guys that we have watched get stronger and stronger and go up. And Hokuto Fuji is one of the most recent ones where it's like, we know the whole thing. We watched you from the very beginning, and now we see where the story ends. And that it makes you feel old for sure, but it's there is definitely a bittersweet feeling to seeing that this guy, I don't know, he was one of those guys that could have, like, on the upper end of his potential, maybe he could have snuck out one of those Maegashira U shows when we, over the last couple of years, where we had a handful of random winners. But like, I don't know, it's the bittersweetness of following somebody their entire career is kind of new to us. Mitakayumi's still chugging along a little bit, I guess. That doesn't feel quite the same. Takakeisha was already a little bit established by the time that we started watching. But yeah, I think the only guy left. No, I'm sorry. There's two guys left from our very beginning, and that is Tamawashi and Takayasu. Excuse me, Endo and
I forget about Endo.
Yeah, a lot.
Takayasu too.
Very often. And I think Shodai,
I think, was probably around then, wasn't he?
I don't think he was there quite yet, but like Tamawashi is probably the best example of somebody that, like, he's just there. He's exactly as there as he was 10 years ago when we first started watching sumo.
Like Takara Fuji. Like, Takara Fuji was a staple. Like, you knew where he was. You knew where he was going to perform.
Sure.
And he usually stayed within maybe 4 or 5 ranks of where you thought he would be. And now that he's gone, it's like, like, I'm losing all the people I knew, man.
Yeah. I think the rather than dwelling on how opinions of individuals have changed, I guess I might say that it's been interesting to watch how my perception of newcomers changes when I have when we've gone through this phase of seeing, like, what does an entire career look like. It kind of colors the way that you see somebody starting anew. And that is, I don't know, I think there's good and bad to that. There's definitely like the old man syndrome of like, oh, this guy's coming up pretty fast, but he's no Onosato, or he's no this guy or that guy. This guy made a pretty good comeback, but he's no Teruno no Fuji. So yeah, I'm definitely hearing that in myself quite a bit. But
well, and even when we're offline, like before episodes, we're talking like that back and forth, like, remember this, remember that, like, yeah, we're just not seeing that anymore. Like, oh god, it started.
Yep. The example that comes up on our podcast all the time is like, no matter how unlikely a pick you make, Tokushoryu still won a U show from the very bottom of the Bansuke.
Very bottom of it.
After a completely mediocre career up to that point and afterwards. I don't know. Anything can happen. So yeah, that's
what I love about this sport. This is why I can't hate. This is what I love about it.
It's unpredictable, but yes, the way that I am a fan of sumo has certainly evolved over the years too.
Okay, so like for you, it's more not necessarily like the wrestlers themselves. It's just like you've seen kind of the average of like how do careers come out to be, because I think I remember that feeling of like this person is awesome, and then like as time goes on I'm like, okay, so this is where they're going, whether they're going up or going down. And I think we kind of talked about that with Ao Nishiki, where it's like, yes, we're hopeful for him, but at the same time we're also kind of
we're hesitant. We're like, come on, where's the ceiling? Where's your ceiling at?
We are tampering our expectations a little bit, just because like we don't know what's going to happen to him. We don't know if he's going to get injured. We don't know if he's going to like hit his ceiling here.
Yeah. But there are archetypes of careers that we have seen over the years where it's like, oh, he could potentially go down this path where his career has a narrative that I would understand, or this different path with a narrative that I understand.
Yeah, it's I think it's also, for me, it's one of these a bit gun shy. Sure. We've seen this happen too many times. That's why I'm willing to hedge my bets on Onishiki. Let's see what kind of metal he's made of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got decent technique. Yeah, he's got the physicality down. He's able to handle. But now he's got to handle the Sanyaku ranks. He's got to handle guys who are quite a bit above him.
Yep.
And have a bit more experience, and he's going to have to face Onosato on more of an even footing, and Hush and these guys as M1. He's going to have to start fighting these guys, and that can be soul crushing if you don't have your shit wired tight.
Yeah.
He's going to have to really train hard and get his techniques down, maybe add a few things to the toolbox, and then come out fighting. You can't slack off, and you can't expect easy victories, and you can't, you know, back up too much. You can't pull a Shodai where you get up there, you push a little bit, it doesn't really work for you, so you just back up until you leave the ring. You can't pull that kind of stuff at this level, and that's why I'm very, very like want to see how he comes out on day one. Is he going to come out fighting strong and really just putting his opponents away, or is there going to be a bit of a struggle there because you know what I'm saying? Is he going to come out really firing on all cylinders, or is there going to be some sort of hesitation?
Totally.
All right, and I actually have one more question because Jake, if I remember correctly, at one point you had done another podcast for a little bit, and that was on movies.
Oh yeah. I can't believe you remember that.
I did listen to that for a little bit. But yeah, and also like I would post about movies on Twitter, like do a little commentary, and sometimes you'd like talk about them.
The way Mac is smiling, it kind of seems like this conversation could go one of two ways. So let's see and find out.
I know, it's like, ooh.
Well, basically, like this can be for the both of you. Like, if both of you are so inclined, what are your favorite movies? And I'm going to extend this also to like Tom and Jeff, so that if you guys want to say your favorite movies, I at least know.
I have a solid top 4, and for a movie geek, they are all pretty lowbrow compared to where your expectations might be.
Try me, because I'm going to go see, because I saw Tourist Trap 2 weeks ago.
Well, all right. Well, I'll let her rip here. Chicken Run, Addams Family, Galaxy Quest, and Speed Racer. Those are my big top 4. No particular order. I'm all about like real deep art form movies as well, but like when it comes down to it, I just want to have fun in a movie. And usually I don't know. I enjoy movies that aren't difficult, but I also enjoy movies that are very difficult. So like, I don't know, one of my other ones that I thought really cool recently was The Green Knight. I don't really know what I watched,
I love that one.
but it was beautiful. It made me think a lot. I'm not entirely sure that I get it, but it was a blast. And at the same time,
based off a book?
It's based on the Arthurian legend. And
yeah, Gawain the Green Knight. Yeah, that was a story.
I'd really recommend it, even if you just don't even like know what's going on and just watch it. It's beautiful. But like,
it was one of those films that reminded me that fantasy films could just be that beautiful.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's there's I guess I have I think when we were doing that movie podcast, and I don't know if it's even still out there, it was called Real Therapy, REEL. Get it? It's a pun. But when we were doing that,
I think I remember it now.
I think that was kind of when I was most snobby about movies, and I've kind of come around and been like, no, I'm happy watching Chicken Run. That movie's awesome. It's not difficult. It's fun, and I love it. But yeah, I think I like I said though, I do really enjoy a head scratcher too. But I won't monopolize this one, Mac. Mac's also a pretty big movie guy. What would you consider your favorite ones?
Ooh, I would say if I have to narrow it down to a top,
I gave you like 3 minutes there.
I know, and that's what I'm like. But you know how many movies I've seen. That's the problem. Yeah. I'm like, crap, I gotta narrow it down.
Some time, Mac. Come on.
All right, top 3 that I can just sit down and watch any time of day would be Aliens, Big Trouble in Little China, and then honestly, Tremors.
Solid.
Yes.
Not bad. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Any time of day, doesn't matter. It could be winter, summer, doesn't matter. Throw it on. I'm watching it.
I do love Big Trouble in Little China. I still need to see Tremors.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Tremors is one of those that's like, it's not clever, it's not deep, it's just perfectly executed.
Yes.
They did it for a drive-in here a few years ago because they were doing like a double feature with like Friday the 13th Part 1 and like Tremors, because both had Kevin Bacon in them.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's a counselor. That's right.
Yeah.
I would say it's very much Jurassic Park with a little bit more humor, a lot of bit more humor,
A lot of bit more humor.
but yeah, it's not a challenging movie, but it's pretty perfect. You know, it's just done right.
Damn, Bert, they're coming out of the ground.
Exactly.
I love the one prepper that's just always got guns on him everywhere.
That was fantastic.
I mean, you can have your tremors, and I enjoy it as a great film, but you just can't beat Egg Shen.
But he's the common one in both of those.
That's true. But Jack Burton is like a hero. I mean, he's one of two of my favorite heroes, and they're both actors. There's Jack Burton and there's Snake Plissken.
Ooh, Escape from New York, excellent series, and LA.
I mean,
all right, I found out I do still have my my Google Sheet bookmarked for when we were doing that. You still have your
list?
Yeah. So just so that I can defend myself as a bit of a movie nerd, one of my other 10 out of 10 movies that I would say is more of an impressive like film favorite pick. You know, I would say Annihilation is another great one for me. The oh god, I'm blanking out on who wrote
Natalie
that book.
Portman.
Alex Garland.
Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac were the main characters. But yeah, that I started the book, and the book is very different but pretty cool still. But yeah, that movie was like, that's like the opposite end of Chicken Run when it comes to like interpretation and
it's heavy, man.
It's heavy. It feels smarter than me, which I always enjoy in a movie that like kind of stretches me, challenges me. But yeah, that's another one I would put near that top tier. I'm not going to turn it on at any mood at any moment of the day like I am with Galaxy Quest or something, but
right.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the making of Galaxy Quest thing they did?
I don't think so.
Oh, there's one part where they're talking to, I think it's Tim
Allen.
Tim Allen?
Yeah, I have a condition where, you know how your memory just stops and it's right on the tip of your tongue, and I can describe the guy, but I can't tell you his name.
Yep, anyway, it happens.
That's called being a movie nerd, yeah.
Tim Allen's in this really emotional scene in Galaxy Quest where the other captain dies and so forth, and he's going through this thing, and he has to kind of step away at the end, and because he's really emotionally hit, and everybody goes, what's wrong with Tim? And Alan Rickman goes, he's just experienced acting.
I have heard that specific story. Yeah.
Things. You know, it's like just to cut right through it. Yeah, he's having a bad time, but you know what? Rickman's just like, bang.
Yeah. Oh god, I've heard that specific story. I haven't watched. Like, is it from like a documentary or something like that?
Yeah, this is a documentary. Yeah. Definitely watch the documentary if you love Galaxy Quest, because it just brings everybody in, and it rounds out seeing the thing.
Yeah, I got one last Galaxy Quest thing for you before we move on to something else. But I bought a copy of the DVD. Not just because it's impossible to like keep track of what's streaming where. I'm a big fan of getting physical media again these days, but I bought the DVD because the original DVD release had a special feature on it where they dubbed the entire movie in the alien language. That's just screaming.
He was so happy when he found this. He threw it out on our group. He goes, "I found it." We're like, "What is it?"
It's lunacy. It's the most outrageous, out-of-pocket, unhinged, whatever other Gen Z slang you want to throw at it. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I couldn't last I laughed until I couldn't breathe for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. It got old very quickly, but just going through and rewatching some of my just going through and watching some of my favorite scenes, and every actor is just doing that screaming, just wretched language. Oh my god, funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I'm going to be seeing that in the next few weeks because they're doing it as an outdoor movie at my favorite theater. So
nice.
So excited to watch that.
So top 3 movies. I don't know. I'm probably going to come from way on the outside. I think one of my all-time tops. I have a hard time. I like Mac. I've seen a lot of movies. I like a lot of movies.
There's many good ones.
Trying to pick a top 10 is tough. But I would say the first thing that comes off the top of my tongue is Ron. Kurosawa.
Oh, okay.
I think it's his best film. Jeff and I have watched a couple of Kurosawa films, and I still think Ron, that interpretation of King Lear, I think is just the best that's ever been done. I mean,
It's probably one of my favorite
Feelgood,
Shakespeare.
all these guys, you can have your Shakespeare Royal Company and all that, but no. Kurosawa just takes the cake on the whole thing. On the other side of that, to go to the full end of a wholly different genre, I think that Kung Fu Hustle has got to be one of my favorites.
Oh, Kung Fu Hustle!
I mean, that is just when they're sitting there with the fat guy with the double axe tattoos trying to fraud out in that village.
To get their hair cut, like, oh, hey, give us some money. We'll go away. It's okay.
Yeah, we're with the Axe Gang, so you know it's good for you, you know? And they end up just getting their asses solidly kicked by everybody. And the other one is with the smoking lady. When the guy with the big, I don't know what you would call it. He's playing where he does this and the knives come out.
Yeah.
The harp. And the guys are in the car waiting. And she's like, hey, can you shut up down there? And the guy's like, well, you want you to shut up there. And she goes, how can I shut up here when you guys are making so much noise down there? And it's just like this really inane argument between the two of them. But no,
at one point he throws an axe up at her. She goes, it's time to die. She grabs the axe. Die my ass!
Yeah.
Oh, that movie rules.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
And it's all the sayings from all the other movies they stuck in it. Like when he's dying, it's like, what are you going to do? From the Untouchables. And there can be only one. And he's the one from the Matrix there. And I mean, it's like, if you just listen close enough, you've got like 10 other movies that are being quoted through the whole film.
It's super dense with references, yeah.
Oh, you have to really pay attention.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, so this is what happens. It's either sumo or, as Heather knows, movies. If you pull that cord on my brain's engine, it will just run. I will black out, and it will be 10:30 p.m. It could be 2 hours from now, and basically. I'll be like, "What were we talking? What were we doing?"
Yeah,
like,
maybe
we
should,
didn't we?
should try to wheel back around.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's wheel back around. Like, if you want to say anything, Jeff, about like a favorite movie or something like that, that's totally fine real quick, and then we can move on to the next thing.
I will be super concise and just go ahead and say that these aren't like movie snob type things. I don't think so, at least. They're just like guilty pleasures of mine that I grew up with because my mother would
if
be
you enjoy
subscribed.
it, it's not a guilty pleasure.
Okay, true.
Just pleasure.
If you say My Little Pony, I'm hanging up.
No, it's not
maybe
that.
some guilt.
Or any of the Barbie films, and I'm not coming back.
But my mother used to be subscribed to this subscription service called Columbia House, and that's how we'd always get our VHSs and stuff. And
we've stolen many a cassette tape from Columbia House in college.
like, I think that right there brought back some memories for some folks, maybe people listening to. And one of the big ones, and one of my favorites growing up, was The Ghost and the Darkness. You got also Last of the Mohicans.
Ooh, Last of the Mohicans is good.
Yeah.
And then my more of a like newer one, I guess you could consider, but I can watch it like Kung Fu Hustle. I can watch that the same way. Is the movie Dread with John Marston?
Ooh, not sure I know that one.
Is that the remake of Raid?
That I really
like. it's like Raid, but it's in the Tower City, and you got Ma.
It's Judge Dredd based, but it's basically a ripoff of Raid, the Korean film.
I guess, yeah, in a way.
Oh.
Well, the guy walks in at the bottom, the boss is at the top, and he has to him and the boss.
But
wait, are you talking about the Carl Urban one?
Yes, I mean Carl Urban. I said John Marston, didn't I? That's my bad.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I know that one.
Now I'm with you and fully on board. Yeah.
Yes, another fantastic movie.
But my favorite would probably be Last of the Mohicans, because like I grew up watching that. Like if it was on, I was watching it, and my mom and dad, them being older, like I was more exposed to like the older stuff, even though like that necessarily. Probably wasn't what I should have been watching at the age of like 6. But
hey,
like,
well, watch Tremors at that age. It's okay. It's whatever the parents, don't know you're watching.
and I had a weird one too. Was the movie Gettysburg? Like, what 6-year-old sits down and watches a 3.5-hour movie?
Long movie,
and is like, dude, I love this movie, but
I mean, mark out half a day.
Yeah, that's like a full school day.
oh yeah, it'd be on the weekends. And like, I don't know, maybe it was just because being grown up in Western Pennsylvania, that was just something that like people had always talked about, and like I remember it in school a little bit from what I remember, but I just remember having the VHS of it from Columbia House. My mom was like, "Hey, do you want to watch this?" And it's like 5 VHSs.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So many. It's like the 5 VHSs my mom had of like Titanic.
Yeah, there you go.
I remember that. That was a set.
Well, I think we had the Civil War that would come on PBS, and that's like 12 tapes.
Yeah.
To get all of that.
No, the Ghost in the Darkness that's a special one for me, because when I was too young to really understand the impact of it, I went to the Chicago Field Museum where the man-eaters,
yeah,
the actual man-eaters of Tsavo, like the taxidermy, that's what the word I was looking for. The taxidermied lions are actually there, and it was just fascinating and terrifying and just super cool.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't see the movie till I was an adult by any means, but like, yeah, just the idea that like those two lions right there ate a bunch of people. Pretty messed up for a kid to see. So yeah, that stuck with me forever.
And like, speaking of messed up, like that's basically what I grew up on, was like, oh, you're a little kid. Well, mom's watching Halloween or Jason X or something like that. Like, well, I'm going to watch this. Shouldn't be, but like, let's watch the Leprechaun or whatever.
I was the youngest of 5. And my middle sister was, as you would consider most middle sisters, I would think. She was cruel and unusual when it came down to just like being, well, cruel. I'm surprised people talk to this day. But does anybody here remember the Haunted House records on vinyl? Okay, they were Haunted House.
Like 13 Ghosts accompanied that? Like, wasn't that a part of that movie?
No, that was a movie,
13 Ghosts.
Yeah. Back in the 70s, they put out these vinyl records of haunted house sounds. And you would put them on and like blare them out the front porch during Halloween and whatever. And they used to freak me and my brother out, but they freaked me out a lot when I was 4 or 5 years old. Well, my sister would lock me in her room, turn off the lights, and then put the record on.
Oh, yikes.
Nope.
And just kind of leave me in there until I could find my way out.
That's so mean.
Yeah.
My sister actually and my cousins would do the same type of thing, but they'd lock me in my Bubba's basement, which, because I'm in a Ukrainian family, and they would go, Pennywise is going to kill you, because the basement was with water in it and stuff. And I would scream, and my Bubba would have to come up and start smacking heads to get her baby out of the basement.
Retribution.
Well, Heather, real quick, what are your top 3?
Oh, heck. Okay.
We already went
You
around,
thought you were going to get out of it.
Like, oh, no.
Okay. So, gosh, I've been watching so many movies lately. But
See,
if I
it's
had
not
to go
easy,
with
is it?
Also, if I had to go with my top 3 from Letterboxd, which I also have a Letterboxd account where I rant about movies and everything. Basically, I would have to say, and I'm going to go with the top 4, Clue, Halloween, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, a Studio Ghibli, and then I have, at the end of that, Tokyo Godfathers, which is the best Christmas movie. Anybody can argue with me, and they will be wrong.
That is solid. I did not see Tokyo Godfathers until this past Christmas, and yeah, it is very well done.
And like,
I've seen the other 3 Satoshi Kon movies. Yeah, I've seen his other 3, but not that one. I know I need to get on it. That's a huge blind spot for me, and I'm embarrassed as a movie fan. But
it's one of those things where unless like you basically unless you kind of know or like are familiar with that filmography, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to like get into. But like if you're a horror movie fan, of course, like Perfect Blue is like at least one of the ways to like delve in and get in there real quick.
Yeah,
well, and then also
Satoshi
he has
Kon.
Paranoia Agent,
Oh yeah.
which is
You
a
guys
series.
are bringing up all other kinds of things. Fifth Element.
Oh, love Fifth Element. Another good movie.
Ruby Rod. He's so sexy. He's so wonderful. It's like the subliminal.
I just prefer Gary Oldman with a southern accent.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I think
warriors.
Satoshi Kon though is such a good way to get people to recognize anime as like a good movie art form. A lot of people will write off anime in general as like cartoons for kids.
Right.
And like you show a movie nerd a Satoshi Kon movie and they're like, okay, I did not realize. Now I will watch anime movies. Yeah, it's a good gateway.
Kind of like how people will like write off sumo as just men in diapers.
Exactly.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
A lot of unfair stereotypes about different art forms that you gotta learn how to crack through that surface sometimes with people.
And even if it's not your jam, just knowing a little bit more about it.
Absolutely.
On horror films, I assume everybody's seen Event Horizon.
Yes.
I just watched that a few weeks ago.
I think
how you holding up?
This
Are
way.
you okay?
They screwed
It's
up
a
the
haunted
ending.
house movie. It's fine.
Oh, they completely screwed up the ending. When she gets rescued, and the visor flips.
Spoilers who hasn't seen it.
Good point.
Tell us in chat. Tell us in chat.
Spoilers. No, seriously, everybody here has to have seen Event Horizon.
It's an old movie.
Yeah. When the visor goes up, I think it should have been Lawrence Fishburne, not Sam Neill. Because imagine the impact, the psychological impact on that. It's her favorite captain, long-term mentor, everything, and he's the one who's now the tortured prospect.
The tortured soul.
If you want to talk about tweaks to make movies better, that's another one. I'll be here all night for sure.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, about to say I don't have you guys for all night, so.
All right.
We'll do a sequel episode sometime, and we'll just do movies the whole time.
Nothing but movies.
Yeah. All right. Let me wind this back around. Heather, if that's okay, are you?
No, I'm basically done with all my questions. But thank you guys so much for answering that.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
That was a hell of a lot of fun. I guess I'll just stick it to one. It's your thoughts on Rikishi carrying injuries. Like Koto Sakura, like they're underperforming and at risk of Kadoban and other things. But they seem to, to have the presence to be there. They're carrying injury, and I'm wondering, is that such a upside? I know you will slide down the Bansuke if you don't. If you don't get in there with a niggle or a knock that makes you underperform. Kirishima being a definite one, I think a bash or two ago. I mean, the injury he just could not perform, but he was there because the presence was needed in order to make his numbers. And I'm wondering how much of a wreck that's going to be at some point on some of these Rikishi, because you can only do that but so long, and then you kind of have to sit out. If you're constantly pounding on the same area that you really should be resting, like every other athlete in the world. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, dang. Okay, I was hoping you'd say that.
Well, okay, no, I can go. It's like I knew you were like, okay, you go. No, you go. No, you go.
I guess. Okay, so now who's actually gonna go?
Okay, go. You go.
This is one of the toughest parts of being a sumo fan to me, because like you have to acknowledge your Western biases about it. To me, I want guys to rest up, get healed. On some level, I wish they would bring back the old system where you get one basho per year to sit out and keep your rank so that you can recover. I don't know. I go back and forth on whether I wish they would actually reinstate that. But you have to take that with the handful of salt that we're Western fans and we perceive these careers as these guys want to win more matches than, and like that should be their top goal in our mind, right? Like that's how Western sports work, is like you got to do anything you can to win the match, to do better. But that's not necessarily the same way that these traditional martial arts view it. And I know like the opposing end of that spectrum might say something like it's about doing sumo. It's not about cutting corners or doing things the wrong way just because it gets you wins. It's just as important to do it correctly as it is to do it to do it better than your opponent. So it's, as a Westerner, I want to say, yeah, we got to figure out ways to keep these wrestlers healthy, because I want to see them wrestle, want to see them have longer careers. I want to see them live longer after retiring, or be more comfortable and being able to like walk well on knees that have gone through a sumo career. But yeah, you have to balance that against the cultural differences, where a guy like Tamawashi did sumo every day. He has never missed a single day of sumo. And maybe that's in his mind doing the best sumo he can, is doing it the right way. Doesn't matter if he's injured, he's going to show up for work, he's going to do the thing, and he's going to rest up for the next day. So I think it's really hard to separate what I want as a fan versus what I want as like I don't know if it's getting too philosophical, but like maybe you'd say a believer in sumo would say like, yeah, fight through injury. Yeah, that might make the injury worse, but fighting through the injury is doing sumo the right way. That might be the argument somebody would make from that front. So yeah, I'm torn. As a fan, like the surface level answer, of course, is I want guys to rest up because I want to see Koto Sakura or Kirishima.
You want to see their best.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to see those two guys in particular. Maybe Daisho, but he hasn't necessarily dealt with injury the same way. But like these other guys that are close to the top, I want to see them challenge for the top, and they need to be healthy to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I appreciate you bringing that up, because it's definitely one of the toughest questions for a sumo fan to grapple with.
And it's puzzled me for a while, because you would think that they would want to be healthy to bring their best sumo. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, do I sit out half the next basho to make sure that my ankle's a bit more recovered than it was before? But then again, do I not, and get in and just try to do my best sumo with what I have, knowing that I'm going to be carrying this ankle injury and not really performing at my going forward? So that's the mindset that I'm trying to get a handle on, is where's the thinking on that? Because it definitely comes down on two sides.
It's interesting because I think it also has something to say about like the generations when it comes to sumo. Like you have like this basically ancient sport, and it's in the modern world now. And you're still dealing with this older mindset of like you can push through it, you can gambarai's, whatever it is that they say. But at the same time, like I also look at where Japan as a country is when it comes to like work and such, and how many people are burning out, how many people are dying when they go to work. Because that is a thing that happens. Basically, you have like this old mindset that's still there, and like it can cost the sport some really good prospects. And like I would like to see some of these guys stay there for a while. But at the same time, like you're right. How do you kind of get a grasp on this mindset that, oh, you got to gombarise through it, you got to work through it, you got to like fight through it, when all it's going to do is just hurt their trajectory in the sport?
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me so much of like every white collar office has that guy that has never called in sick and has sneezed on everybody and has gotten so many other people sick.
Oh, God.
And that guy, when he retires, will, until the day he's in the grave, maybe even put it on his headstone, never called in sick, and that's what he considered successful. So like, yeah, that I think it's partially just, partially cultural, partially, generational, whatever. But yeah, I think it's such a similar mindset to that guy, and defining your own mark of success. And yeah, for somebody like Tamawashi, who has never sat out for injury, maybe that is the measure of his success. Whereas Takakeisho, his measure of success, he sat out for injury all the time. And one, because he had more than a lot of people did, but also two, because he was a guy that was more comfortable doing so if it meant he could win more matches later. And yeah, it's tough to see a guy like Takayasu, who's always been my favorite, get injured so much and try to fight through it. Every single time Takayasu gets injured, he'll keep trying for at least another day or two, and just it hurts to watch. Especially like when his back is acting up and he just does awful, terrible, weak sumo for a few days before finally hanging it up for the month or something. Yeah, it's just the natural consequence of a sport that is basically just recreational car crash into another man, 15 times in a row every other month.
Banging to the coconuts, hitting the shoulders, the necks, you name it. It's like these guys do it all.
I'm not going to claim credit for that joke, by the way. That's from Gabe in out of Grand Rapids Sumo Club, referred to us doing sumo as car crashes the sport.
I love it.
I mean, they did say before in a study that like the tachiai is like the equivalent of a car crash over and over again, because like the force and all that stuff put into it. So like, there's some truth in that.
I'm just glad they don't start further apart, because if they did, they would still go in
running start.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's like a 70s sumo where you'd see like Kitano Umi and Wajima and stuff like that. Like they would start back and they would just run at each other, dude.
Oh God, yeah.
No.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Oh no. That actually makes me hurt thinking about it.
It's like no, I want none of that.
Well, any other sumo and or movie questions you guys wanted to go over?
Or any other questions in general?
Indeed.
I'm just getting antsy now that I found my spreadsheet. I'm like, oh yeah, I did love that movie. Oh yeah, Silence of the Lambs. That's another 10 out of 10.
Here we go again.
Oh, Hunt for Red October. That's a classic. Yeah.
The Siege.
I gotta close that. I'll pick my movie for the night later.
These ones might be. Maybe you guys have answered these ones before, or like maybe they're like stereotypical in a way, but like one of them I have written down for you is for those that don't know you as well as like say somebody who's watched a little bit more like maybe I have. How did y'all decide to create the GSB belts?
Ooh. That was an experiment.
I think that one was me. I mean, I'm the one who like does the research on it in between Basho, but I'm pretty sure that was me that started it. I think I started it because somebody was tracking the lineal title for mixed martial arts. I think that's what it was. So like if you beat the man, or like the old Ric Flair saying to be the man, you got to beat the man. So we just kind of thought that would be a fun thing to try, and we did a couple like test cases. Like I went back 4 or 5 years or something and just picked a match and said, if this one was for the belt, where would that belt be now? And it was like, oh, cool. This is a fun way to track things, and it takes, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years or something for this to make its way to the top. So yeah, we've just, I don't know. It's just a fun little gimmick. Doesn't take all that much extra time for us to research, but provides 5 minutes of fun to talk about once an episode.
Depending if the belt's cursed or not, in which case it is an ongoing trope.
There's the one time it was like 2 years stuck in the top of the Makushita division, and that was stupid.
Wouldn't get out.
If you want to hear more about how that belt works, we give a quick overview right after our commercial break on every preview episode. So I don't need to go over the whole thing here. If following winning wrestlers through the lower divisions over the course of a year or two sounds like your jam, then you are my kind of sumo fan, and you should give one of our previews a listen.
And here's another one for you guys. Let's say after starting in Natsu 6 years ago, I did a little bit of research, and some 410 plus videos later, do you have a favorite episode necessarily that stands out to you that you can remember per se?
I have one just because it led into more pain later on, and that was the food challenge episode, where I didn't admit to the guys right away that I have a nightshade allergy. And it was supposed to be a whole bunch of spicy peppers that I was supposed to be eating. And I said,
for context real quick, we do a wager every Bosch show, and the whoever loses the wager has to do a stupid punishment.
I think I remember this.
So yeah, for one of them, it was the spicy challenge, and when Fleric lost it, he had to eat like habanero slices and suffer through an episode of the podcast. But for Mac, yeah, nightshade allergy, we can't give him spicy peppers. So yeah, that was just the background for why we were doing a food challenge on our sumo podcast.
Because initially it was the one chip. So it was like, okay, you have to do the one chip challenge. And then I looked at what was in there, and I'm like, oh God, I can't eat this, guys. Like, why? I said, this will literally cause my throat to close. Like, this is not good. So Jake came up with another punishment of salted milk, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah, it was disgusting.
It was awful. And yet I finished the entire glass and was like, yeah, no, it's good. And then they ate the chip on the next episode.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there drinking my salted milk, just going like, what's wrong with you guys?
You had a good poker face, but yeah, as soon as we were done recording, you admitted how
it was
legitimate
vile.
A punishment that was.
It was vile. So that was fun because I got to actually see these guys and interact with them. As much as Zoom makes a lot of our episodes possible with all of our busy schedules, when we can actually find time to get together, like it's great because I love sitting around the table with these guys, just talking, laughing, and just talking about the sport that we love. So that was, even though it had something gross and terrible and punishment and tears, I still love these guys. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I also love the episodes where we punish Mac. No, I had the two that came to mind for me are, well, I guess one episode and one type of episode that we do. Our end of year award show episode is one of my favorites every year because it's Ryan remembers every single thing that happened, like we mentioned, but me, Mac, and Fleric do not. So
nope.
a good 2-hour episode where we reminisce on the things that happened over the last year is always a blast. We usually find a fun segment or two or a guest or something to put on that. So that's always good. But the specific episode that I remember having the most fun doing was our midway for Nagoya 2019 when we were in Japan, because we did that episode in our Airbnb in Japan, and we got not just the 4 of us, but also our 3 wives were all also with us in Japan. So we recorded. I think we basically did pairs. Like we brought along 2 microphones, so we just had 2 people at a time talk for 15 minutes about something from our trip or the sumo that we saw or whatever. So that one was like, I don't know, maybe a little bit of sumo talk, but mostly just Japan travel talk, and editing that from a tiny tablet in our Airbnb in I think we did that in Kyoto.
Yeah, we did it in Kyoto.
When we would have recorded it, yeah. Maybe it was our recap,
thank you for
actually.
recommending the kimono place. That's the kimono place that I went to
really cool.
Get ready for Gion Matsuri. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that trip was a blast. We've talked about it on our show a handful of times, but we were, the 7 of us were in Japan for 2 straight weeks. We saw sumo, we saw Tokyo, we saw Kyoto. As much of that as you can see in 2 weeks. Obviously, we could be there for a lot longer and still not see everything, but
that's
amazing trip. Yeah, don't half-ass it. That's for sure.
And definitely check out the hot springs. The hot springs and the onsens, all worth it.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do Fuji again because my knees were in awful shape.
We should not have done it in one day. That was our problem. We started from the base and went all the way to the top in one day.
No, there was so much walking in that 2 weeks that sneaking a mountain climb in the middle of it was like just a terrible idea for my legs. But no, that episode that'll always have a special place for me. Recording that on the go, including our wives in it, making it more of like a a personal travel journal in addition to our sumo coverage. That was a blast.
Word. Cool. And the next two are going to be kind of like quick fire just because I know we're getting close to that time limit, so to speak. But I got one personally just for me. Just because I know, Jake, you said you don't have the utmost time today, so I don't want to waste my time with you guys.
I have a toddler. I can never be in one place for 2 hours.
No.
Like, it just doesn't work that way.
For sure.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
They will find you.
One for me is, which Tegata do you have behind you? Because I've always wondered whose Tegata are those.
Let's see. I have Takayasu. Going the wrong way. Over here is Ishiura. And then right here, I actually have two of this guy because this is my number one sumo hero. Let me grab the one that's closer so I can show you that. Here we go. I also have it in red. This is John Jocks. If you listen to our show, you know that I've talked about him a handful of times. He is a 80-year-old retired teacher who lives in Hawaii and is personally responsible for many of the Hawaiians that ended up in professional sumo.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy.
That's a keepsake.
I know this guy on a first name basis. We text all the time. He is my hero in a lot of ways, and yeah, that's why he gets the centerpiece up top there. But yeah, he's a legend in American sumo. He did sumo himself in like the 70s and 80s in Hawaii, and yeah, he did a lot of like recruiting when the Hawaiians were taking over sumo in like the 80s, the 90s, etc. But yeah, he's an extremely influential figure in the amateur sumo scene that's become such a big part of my sumo life.
Oh, he's why I saw sumo and Hot Ticket to Hawaii.
Probably.
Very possibly. I'd say it's possible, even likely, that he had a personal hand in anything to do with sumo and Hawaii that you've ever experienced. Chances are very good.
And then, one thing that you guys had said already, I believe, or maybe I'm hearing wrong because I was watching some episodes just to catch myself up a little bit to make myself not seem like I've never seen one of y'all's episodes.
It's okay. It's all right.
We're not going to quiz you on our show by any means.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to be a little bit more prepared. And when you guys started, you guys had 3 Yokozuna. Obviously, we're on the cusp, and we're at the point where we have 2. So 3 isn't out of the range for like the next 5-6 years to be able to accomplish that feat. Who are the Rikishi that you two would say are your picks for who could get that benchmark of becoming the next?
Mac, why don't you start on this one?
All right. So I definitely can see if Aonishiki can continue his dominance and continues to develop. So he's still young. He's still really new to the sport. If he can continue to develop and keeps his meteoric rise, I don't think he's going to be to the point of Onosato, but if he keeps his head about him, I think he's definitely got the potential to be a Yokozuna. In that, I also think that Kirishima, he's been in Ozeki before. He's trying to fight and reclaim that. He's a little older, but again, he has a lot of that knowledge and experience, so I could definitely see maybe him if he stays healthy long enough. Apart from that, I think a long shot, maybe Haku Oho, but I need to see a little bit more out of him before I can definitively say, yes, I can see you going higher. Like with that injury, he's been performing well, but this last tournament made me think, okay, hold on. Are we hitting a ceiling, or is he just feeling out tougher opponents and figuring out what to do? So I'm really curious to see how he performs in this tournament, and then that'll help shape my opinion moving forward.
Yeah, I don't disagree with those 3 names being in the mix on some level. There's what the question, the barrier to keep in mind for this conversation is always like, who do you think you've already seen the best of, and who do you think can keep growing? So like for a lot of guys, I don't know, somebody that's been very successful and near the top for a while, like Daisho, for example, feels like we've probably seen his best already. And it's not always age, because, like, yeah, I think that Kirishima and Daisho, I'm pretty sure they're pretty close to the same age. see, Daisho's 31, Kirishima. I guess Kirishima's 2 years younger, so like maybe he's got more room to grow there. But like Kirishima seems like somebody that can have higher highs than Daisho does. But like there are guys and Aonishiki, yeah, it's still very early, but he's somebody that the idea of becoming a Yokozuna hasn't been eliminated in my mind like it has for Abi. You know, Abi's pretty good at sumo too. Not that good.
He's a great spoiler.
Yeah, but he's not. I'm very confident he will never be a Yokozuna. Still pretty good, but like that's what I mean is like Aonishiki has not yet canceled out, has not crossed off the list of potential to get that high. And yeah, Haku Oho is another name in that potential mix. Takeru Fuji, depending on if he can stabilize a little bit after just kind of blowing it early on, and is he just a middling Rikishi who got lucky once, or yeah, he's still a guy that's got some potential up there.
He's got a skipping leg day.
Yeah, exactly.
No kidding.
That man is all shoulder.
I mean, Jake,
yeah,
watch in 2 years, Abi becomes like Yokozuna or something like that, or at the very least, Ozeki.
So many people would be unhappy.
I will eat whatever crow is due, but yeah, yeah, not gonna happen. So if it does happen, yes, I will happily be the first to admit I was wrong.
And I'm not gonna lie, a part of me
quite strong opinions about Abi.
Yeah.
And they're not positive.
Like
in fact,
sorry. No, you go. You got it.
Well, after the Hanka that he pulled when he concussed Takayasu, I crowned him openly as the giant bag of dicks. And whenever his matches would come up, I would have a quip around, all hail and rise. Giant bag of dicks has entered the Dohyo, and I've done it every tournament for like the last year, every day. I just don't think it's mensch. I know Takaka. There's others who do it, and there's others who've done it in the playoff. But when you do it so severely that you actually injure your opponent, I think you've gone beyond the pale there, and it's just not mensch. It's not what you do. You shouldn't be bringing that to the playoff. I mean, TKK was just as guilty. You don't jump to the side. You fight. You show your mettle as to why you got there, and you fix that tie. But you don't jump around. You're not Enho. Especially Abi. He's about twice the size of the guy. He's got the ability to fight, and you do that. So yeah, I have a very dim view on Abi, and I can't even bring myself to rate him on Kachi Clash to pick him. I just have a very dim view of the guy. And Ichi Yamamoto for me is the discount Abi.
Yes,
slightly more honor, slightly less talent. Yeah,
this is why I must hate him.
Yeah, I think Abi's fascinating because he was like well hated, like long before he pulled Henkas in playoffs and stuff like that. Like he's always been. But yeah, the way you brought it up there though, that's similar to how we were talking about injuries. Is your goal to win, or is your goal to do it the right way? And yeah, for Abi, it's to win. That's for dang sure.
A certain side, and yeah, it's all about winning.
Yep, absolutely.
And now I know, Jake, you and Fleric do amateur sumo, and is there which way did you come about doing that? Like, what made you just go, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this a try. And for people that haven't seen you, you can be, I guess, a little bit judgmental on yourself. How would you grade yourself as a sumo wrestler?
If I don't know, if we were to make a Bansuke and everybody in my weight class was on the Bansuke, I would be like a Maegashira 13 or 14. I can pull off wins every now and then, but winning sumo, if winning sumo matches in actual competitions was my only goal in amateur sumo, I would consider my career so far a failure. If my goal is to have fun doing it and get more people into it and learn about the sport better, then yes, I'm having a great career. But yeah, we got into it. Actually, Mac was me and Mac got into amateur sumo at the very beginning. Mac also has joints that have been put through a meat grinder, so actually doing amateur sumo is not super in the cards for Mac.
Unfortunately.
But
no.
he and I went to the national championships in 2021 down in Texas, and we both got hooked in different ways on it. And yeah, for me, that led down the path to eventually meeting a bunch of new people in amateur sumo, and all of them peer pressuring me into doing it myself. So it's very much a hobby thing. I enjoy running Iowa Sumo Club and recruiting and training and teaching people what I know. And usually the lessons that I teach people are not in the ring because I don't have a ton to offer there.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's been a blast, but it's yeah, as a actual wrestler, I'm nothing special. I never will be, and that's not my goal. I'm not that guy, but I still have a lot of fun.
Speaking of something special, just because it shot out to me and I found it funny. It might not have been funny at the time, but during your amateur, one of the matches, I can't remember if it was you or Flerick, but you faced a bald guy and he just scoop slammed you. One of y'all, I think.
That was Flerick going against Ali out of Chicago at the Midwest Open last year, I think, in Bloomington, Indiana. I remember that specific match because there's a photo out there of Flerick being thrown by the guy, and his legs are higher than his head. Like he got thrown. He didn't get tipped over. He got thrown.
He got bodied, dude. Like it was.
He did. No, that guy went on to win our weight class. I think he lost like one time all day long. But yeah, Ali from Chicago, he is a killer. I think he's originally from Central Asia. I'm not gonna guess. I don't remember which country he's originally from, but he does all sorts of martial arts, and yeah, he's incredible at sumo wrestling.
Because that's one guy I've seen with amateur. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I was just going to say that, yeah, the level of competition, the range of competitors is extraordinarily wide. There's guys like me, and then there are guys that are world medalists. You know, anybody can show up to an amateur sumo tournament, and yeah, it's a blast either way, regardless of if your loss gets immortalized on multiple podcasts.
And I know, like, with him, like, I'm not too big into amateur, and that's a little bit my fault because, like, you've got a little bit of a biases when it comes down to watching the, like, quote-unquote official sumo because of all the pomp and circumstance, because it's more of a religious ceremony and everything. But that guy, Ali, I could genuinely see him doing well in sumo if he was there.
He's too short for sure. He's I think to get into pro sumo, you have to do it by age 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. And he's also Ali is also a guy that, like, no matter how big and strong he got for his frame, he's still, I don't think he's even like as big as Enho is. He fights at lightweight. He fights at my weight class, so he's not a big guy. That doesn't mean that there's zero chance of him beating a professional sumo wrestler with years of training, but odds would be very stacked against him.
And also, I want to say, because you two mentioned Kirishima just a minute ago during one of the questions, that makes me happy because I have an extreme biases towards Kirishima. People know that in the streams and stuff like that, because when he comes up, I get my fan towel out. I'm like, Kiri, there you go, my baby, and everything. So that'll irritate a couple of the guys that like to pick at me or whatever because of the fact that I'm so on board with him. But yeah, do Tom or Heather, do you guys have any more questions for the guys?
No, I don't actually, but thank you guys so much for coming on and like talking with us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're happy to join. Like we said, we're excited to see more voices out there, because I know that there's lots of people that just can't get enough sumo coverage, and Mac for one. I hear you're getting some other guests from around the sumo community. I can't wait to hear more from you guys, talking to them and everything too. But
if you guys ever want to talk sumo, find me.
Yeah,
totally.
I'm always up for it.
If I may, real quick though, if you are unfamiliar with GSB, find Grand Sumo Breakdown on primarily YouTube and Spotify are where most of I think most people see our stuff. But yeah,
already
we do.
Subscribed on YouTube, so found you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and
we're the introductory. I watched the beginning of the one where they're talking about the Bansuke. The game, and it was the initial frustrated roar that basically got me hooked.
That would be Ryan. Ryan is he's one of the best in the world
coming out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just a little.
He's been one of the best in the world at predicting the Bansuke for years now. But yeah, the recent couple months have been. They have new people that are doing the rankings than they had for several years. So he's got to learn all new people's patterns to figure this out. But yeah, as a show though, we do a pre, a mid, and a post podcast for every basho. In between the bashos, we predict what the Bansuke is going to look like for the next one, and then we review it when it comes out. And then we have a smattering of other stuff in there.
Me personally, news updates, we do cards.
News updates, yeah. Trading cards. Yeah, Mac and Ryan do the trading cards. Those are always fun. One thing that we've kind of stepped away from, though, is we used to do a lot more bonus episodes and stuff, but that has kind of been taken away as I've gotten more into helping run the USSF, the Sumo Federation, getting more involved in running events and doing tournaments and things like that in amateur sumo. But yeah, those, let's see, 5-6 episodes every basho. You can find those on our Spotify and YouTube pages.
And all of those links 100% will be in the description. I highly advise you follow, sub, and give a like when you watch, because giving a like and subbing is completely free. Nothing you have to do there, right? And yeah, I just greatly appreciate you guys being on. You guys are, at the beginning of my sumo content career, is like, I have a list, like a bucket list of things to do, and talking to you guys is one of those bucket lists. So I greatly appreciate you guys.
What else is even on there? What else would be worth putting?
He can have other dreams. It's okay.
You don't need just one.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is going to be the second and last podcast because of all that. So thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, it's a post-mortem on the Sanyaku Brothers right there.
Oh God, no! This is not what we wanted. This is not.
What did we do, Mac? What did we do?
You killed the podcast. I hope you're happy.
God.
In the
Just
future,
by showing up.
we've got like we're gonna do stable deep dives because that's something I think people could really benefit from learning, like different things about Isagahama, which is my favorite stable, or like Sadagatake, Kisei, the list goes on. And then Rikishi too, like Mori, how Tom, obviously he's very much loves that man. We're gonna do stuff about him and other various topics. And this is only episode 2, but I feel like it's a big one and a nice step forward, and I can't thank you guys enough. And just to let everybody know, we will have all the links in the description for our Twitch, for the rest of the upcoming boss show, which is like earlier with the gatekeeping thing, like if you find us, you find us. But like we would gladly have you there. We have a nice, lovely community, really cool folks, and you'll hear my voice for about 8 hours. You'll have to deal with me the rest of the night. So hopefully you don't find me like a turn off for that. And then I would say our little saying, I guess, I have made at the end of this is keep it Sanyaku. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night there on YouTube.